June 2024, Florida's Panhandle. It started like any normal beach day. Clear water, warm sun, families in the surf. Nothing felt dangerous, until it happened. A 45-year-old woman was in the water, waist deep, when a shark attacked. The damage was catastrophic. She lost her arm. Panic spread across the beach. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Less than 2 hours later, another attack. This time a teenager, then another. 3 separate attacks, all in the same area, all within a 2-hour window. One of the victims was critically injured. So, what changed? Why did a calm, idyllic beach, a place of family fun and summer memories, suddenly become one of the most dangerous places in the ocean? The answer is as simple as it is terrifying. Because the ocean doesn't give warnings, it doesn't raise a red flag or sound an alarm. It gives conditions, a subtle, interlocking series of environmental cues that, to the untrained eye, are completely invisible. And that day, the conditions lined up perfectly, creating a recipe for disaster. It began with the food. Huge schools of baitfish, likely mullet, were pushed into the shallows by offshore currents and shifting water temperatures. An all-you-can-eat buffet set right in the surf zone. And in the ocean, a buffet is never left unattended for long. Where there's bait, predators follow. This is the fundamental law of the sea. The sharks weren't there to hunt people. They were there to eat. The second condition was visibility. The water was exceptionally murky, churned up by the tide and recent coastal runoff. This is perhaps the single most dangerous factor in any shark encounter. A shark is a visual predator, but when it can't see, it relies on its other senses. When sharks can't see clearly, they can't identify their target. They sense movement and pressure changes, but they can't be sure what they're sensing, so they investigate. For a shark, the ultimate way to test an unknown object, to see if it's food, is with its mouth. This is the exploratory bite. Not an act of malice, but a case of mistaken identity in low-light conditions. The final critical condition was the human element. Add in crowded water, concentrated in specific areas like sandbars where the baitfish were also gathering. Add the constant splashing, the erratic movement, and suddenly, from a predator's point of view below, humans don't look like humans anymore. They look like confusion. They look and sound like struggling prey, indistinguishable from the thousands of baitfish the sharks are actively hunting. This is what most people don't understand. This wasn't a monster with a taste for humans. These weren't coordinated, premeditated attacks. They weren't personal. They were a chain reaction, a perfect storm of biology and circumstance. Wrong place, wrong time, right conditions, and when a chain reaction like this starts, it can happen again and again. Fast, each incident escalating the panic and confusion in the water, creating more of the very signals that attract investigative sharks. That's the real danger. It's not just the shark in the water. It's the speed at which a peaceful day can unravel, and how quickly a confluence of natural conditions can escalate beyond anyone's control. Now, here's the part no one talks about. The dramatic headlines and sensationalized stories often end with the initial encounter, but for the person in the water, that's not the end. Survival doesn't end after the attack. In every meaningful way, it begins there. Because once you're injured in the water, the environment itself becomes an adversary. You're no longer just dealing with the ocean. You're racing time. Every second is critical. The first enemy is catastrophic blood loss. The second is the insidious onset of shock, which can incapacitate you mentally and physically. And the third is the immense distance from help. What looks close from the shore can feel like an impossible journey when you're fighting for your life. In moments like that, when your strength is fading and panic sets in, being seen or heard can be the difference between life and death. Your ability to signal for aid becomes your single most important survival tool. In a moment of crisis on the water, our first instinct is to use our voice. We shout for help, a primal call for rescue. Most people rely on shouting, hoping their voice will cut through the noise and reach someone on shore or a passing vessel. But this is often a false hope, a desperate gamble against the overwhelming power of the ocean. The reality is that the ocean is a vast and noisy environment. The crash of waves, the howl of the wind, and the sheer distance to potential rescuers can swallow sound instantly. A human voice, no matter how loud, is quickly lost, becoming just another whisper in the chaos. Relying on your voice alone is like trying to stop the tide with your hands. That's why experienced boaters and offshore survivors understand a critical truth. You must be seen to be saved. They carry dedicated signaling tools, knowing that visual distress signals are far more effective than auditory ones. Because when rescuers are searching, they are scanning a massive, featureless expanse of water. They are looking for something that doesn't belong, a flash of color, a glint of light. In that critical moment, you need to stand out. You need to transform from a tiny, camouflaged speck into an unmissable beacon, not disappear into the blue-gray background of the sea. The people who survive the ocean are the ones who prepare for the worst before they ever leave the dock. They are the ones who prepare before anything happens. Because when it does, when the unexpected strikes, there is no time to think. There is only time to act. Your survival depends not on what you can find, but on what you already have with you. And the ocean, it never gives second chances.